What's up, guys? Let's get into youth AAU leagues. If you're thinking about signing up your son or daughter for AAU league, listen up because there's three important things based off my and our family's experience that I just want to let you guys know about. Let's get into the important stuff first. The when you're looking for AAU league, you're looking for the what the program is about, the experience of the coach, and the fees and amount of travel. So let's break this down again. What the program is about, what are the values of the program, what has the program accomplished since it's been running. Is it been running for 1 year, it's been running for 5 years, the levels are going to be different. Do the values align with what you're trying to teach your child when it comes to sports, and what is the experience of the coach that's teaching your child. We just want to make sure that the AAU league that you're investing in time, money, energy, and your child's development in, it's run by a coach who has a clear vision and is experienced both as a player and as a coach, right? Because you could be a great player, a great basketball player, soccer player, whatever the sport is. That doesn't mean that you're a great coach. And sometimes those things get crossed. Signs of a great coach: somebody approachable, somebody willing to give you this information without you having to fish it out of them. And I would also say someone who has the best interest for your child and is not just trying to get you to join the team so they can have enough players to join some kind of tournament, right? You want them to also have investment in your child. I could get into a whole other series about the coaching thing, but I don't have time for that. But I do want to touch a little bit on the travel and the fees. Always make sure that you're willing to do the travel for these tournaments. So you need to ask up front, is it in state? Is it out of state? Was the furthest tournament XYZ? Because when your child signs up for the AAU league, they made a commitment to be at these games and they need them at the games. Sometimes if there's not a lot of kids, they forfeit. And then you're placing money into a team and you're not getting a return on investment because they're not getting the practice time in the games that they would need to see if they're doing better or not in the sport. Now the fees. Now necessarily sometimes you think the more money you pay, the better the program. But we've been in both where the program wasn't as expensive, but it was fantastic, and where the program was super expensive and it was just a waste of time. I will also say you have to be very careful if you're joining an AAU team and the coach has a child that they're going to coach in that team. More than likely, that child is probably going to be the point guard or the person having the most time in the games, whether it's soccer or striker, whatever sport it is. If they have a child in there, there's going to be a bias there. And in order for your child to get the top spot, if you're looking for that, if you feel like your child is ready, there's going to be a rift there, because if you are unlucky enough to get a coach with a child that's biased, it's going to be a tough time. Now, there are teams where the AU coach has a child that they're coaching, their own child, but they treat everybody fairly and it goes by who's working the hardest. And that's what you're trying to look for. But yeah, there's just so much when it comes to AAU. But the last thing I want to touch on, because my video is getting super long, is before you make this investment in your time, in your energy, in your money, in everything, because it is stressful and it is expensive and it is a big time commitment to join an AAU. We as parents needs to make sure that our kids are coachable. Can they take feedback? Can they improve? Can they goal set? And honestly, sports correlates a lot to a lot of the things they're going to know and need to know when they become adults, right? So if your child doesn't know a lot about goal setting, start them on goal setting first before joining an AAU team, because we want to build those habits so that they become more than just a basketball player. They become successful in their sport, whether it's basketball, soccer, or hockey, whatever sport it is, but they also become successful as humans, right? Being coachable is very important. And if you feel like your child is not mature enough to be coached at a high level, then I would stay in the rec leagues and the leagues that are not as expensive, because it's going to be a lot of frustration if you drive an hour to see your child play for 15 minutes because they're not taking the feedback and they're not developing at the pace that the coach needs them to develop at. But I would like to say please put your kids in sports if they like sports. It's more about developing them into a person and into good habits versus like trying to be the next star, right? Like we want to develop great humans, and sports is a great way to learn teamwork, competitiveness, goal setting, and sportsmanship. Like there's so many great things that come out of sports. So you want the complete package for your child. Do the sports. If they're really good at it, do the AAU. But yeah, if you guys want more of this content, let me know and I'll be posting more. See you guys.